My name is Lilian Guerrero, but I call myself Lili Guerrero as my artist name. I play charango, guitar, bombo, cajon, percussion, and I write my own songs. Well, the first time I grabbed a guitar would have been in Chile at school. Mum took us to after-school guitar lessons as a group. You know, we'd all rock up with our guitars and do a group workshop. And that was the first time I got, introduced to rhythms and the guitar. And then when we arrived to Australia, Mum put us again into a Chilean folklore group and as dancers. And then they decided to have a live band, and they were like, okay, whichever kid can, play guitar or follow that rhythm and make chords is going to be part of the band, and the rest are dancers. And I always wanted to be a dancer, and I got stuck being in the band. So that's how I started playing in bands since I was 7. Because I love it. Yeah. And it's because it's where my parents are from, and I love keeping the tradition alive, the culture alive, sin querer, like not doing it on purpose, just it naturally comes out to keep the culture alive. And it's, it's rewarding to teach others where we come from and our music, and like teaching our kids. Apart from being introduced to the culture, it's just taking it on that trip, I will say it in Spanish, and it's en la bola, you play and you take the audience on a little trip on your own little, vibe. Yeah. Well, I get inspired by other musos that are also creating. Like, for example, Andro doesn't stop. He's always in the studio. And just a lot of artists in the community are out there doing their thing, and it's just inspiring. I think we all bounce off each other, and I think it's great. And the same with like Danza Montón, like the Chilean folklore group. Every time I watch them, or anyone really, you get inspired, I think. And that's, I hope that when people see me, they get inspired. Okay. To be honest, well, what I get out of it, which would be like the other way of answering it, is like my therapy. So I think it's really good therapy to help you get through stuff in life. Like painting is really good to relax, singing, dancing, just makes you happy. Well, I should say guitar is the first, because I've played guitar since I was 7, but charango is the one that like grabs me. Mum knew I was really into música andina, and she came home one day from Chile, because she used to travel constantly, and she brought back a charango, and I was like, oh wow, that's amazing. But I didn't know how to play it, so I was like, okay. And I put it in the closet, and it was there for months and months and months. And then I saw this poster in Newtown, like a random poster saying if you want to learn música andina, call this lady and you can learn the panpipes, the quena, the charango. So I rang, and that's how I started playing. And then after that, just asking friends, like, how do you do that chord and how do you do that? And then from there, just had to do my own little research. It's like the charango, you're gonna make me cry. The charango's my companion. Like when you're sad, you're like, yeah, it's like, I don't know. I feel empty without it. Like I said, Andro took it yesterday to get repaired, and I feel empty. I'm like, it was only gone for one night, Usually no one's allowed to take it away from me because it hurts. Yeah. You guys.
Is it a personal connection, or does it have some sort of memory or connection to another place? Or?
And charango. Well, it's got connection to, people that I've grown up with, that I, really cared about or care about. And yeah, the majority of my friends, are that group. So that charango kind of feels like it's all my good family friends from growing up. Yeah, my family. My charango is my family. Yeah. I'm very slow at working with my originals, but I'm always working on them. So even if I started a song 20 years ago, I'm still working on it. Yeah. But at the moment, the song that we played before is one of our latest songs. That's the song that I wrote during lockdown. And that one's coming soon with a video clip, soon. I'm working on that. There's a cumbia halfway. There's a salsa coming out through. That's been another song that's been there for 10, 15 years, but I'm getting together with Salsa Kings. They're helping me finish writing it, and we're all going to record it here. Yeah, so that's exciting. It's busy being a mum, especially if, you're kind of on your own, running around all the time. But I find the time, usually like when JJ was like 2 or 3 or 4, when they're always in the bath, that was my good hour practice in the bathroom. Now he's older, so I have to find my ways. I juggle things like wash dishes, listen to music, the repertoire. Driving to school every day, I always listen to the repertoire that I have to learn. So that's my study time.
Okay.
I have to juggle a lot. We're super competitive. I was kidding. What's the time maybe? With my brother. Well, I see him as my teacher. I've learnt a lot from him by watching how he acts and performs. And it hasn't been easy, I'd say, because when your brother and sister are working, it's hard. It's not what people must think, it's a piece of cake, but it's not. It's like you get the harder treatment, if Christians say this. You get the harder treatment on stage and off stage, I think. Well, for starters, it's been crazy, as in losing every single gig. That's what happened. So first thing I did was cry. I cried, and then I jammed it all out on a clip that Ando filmed. That clip that's on Facebook? That's what happened in March. And then I was like, okay, well, it's what happened. And I just had more time to write, which was awesome. And we haven't stopped. We do our own music here, and I practice on my own. And I wish I had more people to practice with. But yeah, all I thought was, I just got to practice, get better, get prepared for when the gigs do come back, get stronger and smarter. Música andina, music from the Andes. So it's folkloric, indigenous music from the mountains. Yeah, so the panpipes, the flute, the bombo. I have a bombo inside. The charango, el cuatro, all those instruments. without realizing. Back when I was in the Chilean dance group, we used to do norte, which is the north of Chile, which is closer to Peru, Bolivia, like. And the music that we used to dance to was música andina, but I didn't know that back then, but I used to play it. So I'd do one dance and then I'd be like playing guitar. Back then Christian used to play charango, so I used to play guitar, charango. But as a teenager, watching Sonido de los Andes and Tincuna and Tumi and all these Andino bands that used to busk at Circle Key, they were my inspiration. Yeah.
Just in case.
That's fine, yeah.